right now on 5 on Your Side at 10.
Tonight, the push to clean up a St. Louis gem after an EF3 tornado damages Forest Park.
It's really just jarring to see the impact.
The massive effort that's no walk in the park.
Tighten the tarps and grab the rain gear, at least for part of your Thursday, when the wet weather moves out and the warm air moves in.
Our top story, a Florissant home explodes, killing one person.
I've never heard anything like that in my entire life.
Neighbors react to the incident, shaking the community. People all over North County tell 5 on Your Side they heard the loud explosion earlier this afternoon. Good evening, everyone. I'm Kelly Jackson.
And I'm Mike Bush. We're told a man was rushed to the hospital with severe injuries where he later died. Brent Solomon is just back from the scene and explains how an off-duty first responder was the first to help. Brent?
Well, Mike, Kelly, police have not yet identified the man who died. An off-duty paramedic, though, lives next door to him. He heard his neighbor's home explode and then quickly rushed over to help before police and EMS could get there.
The entire backside of the house is gone.
A devastating scene Wednesday afternoon here on Trinity Lane near Graham Road in Florissant.
We were in the house, and next thing you know, we heard this loud boom, a loud explosion, and it vibrated the windows, the pictures on the wall.
I heard it and I felt it. I've never heard anything like that in my entire life.
It was around 4:30 when this home exploded with a man inside.
It was blown up from the garage door.
After seeing all of the smoke, Joy Fulton ran over, only to see her neighbor severely injured.
No legs. They were gone. We saw the guy in the garage laying flat on his face. He wasn't moving at all.
By that time, Joshua Gray was on scene, rendering aid to his next-door neighbor, and he knew just what to do. Gray is a paramedic and firefighter in Normandy.
We applied 2 tourniquets. I got all the debris and the housing off of top of him, and we got him out.
The victim's son, believed to be around 12 years old, alerting Gray of the dire emergency.
I ended up seeing his son at the front door, and his son told me that his father was still in the house, so I told his son to run to my house.
Neighbors were told to stand back as the county bomb and arson unit combed the scene. The man inside was rushed to the hospital. An unexpected tragedy that's now taking a toll.
His son was there, just trying to make sure the son is okay.
The explosion also caused major damage to the home next door. Tonight, authorities are working to figure out how this happened.
Today, the Missouri National Guard arrived in St. Louis to help with tornado relief efforts. More than 40 troops will help clear debris at 4 sites in the city starting tomorrow morning. All the sites are at St. Louis Public School properties. The Guard is bringing multiple front loaders and dump trucks to help with the cleanup. Residents say they've been waiting to see government help like this for too long.
Our community is strong. We will get through this. We got to get through this. As long as we lean on our back and with the volunteers and everybody coming through, whenever FEMA, SEMA, city, whenever they actually come through and help, it will definitely help us more. But we're strong. We're built strong. We're built for this.
Today, the Board of Aldermen passed 2 bills to freeze property taxes for tornado-impacted homes and expand a $260,000 program to help evicted tenants pay their first or last month's rent. Right now, cleanup and assessment efforts are underway in Forest Park.
Park caretakers say thousands of trees were damaged in the May 16th storm. 5 on Your Side's Laura Barcheski continues our coverage of this massive effort.
Forest Park Forever, the nonprofit that helps take care of the park, says 3,000 trees and counting were completely taken out or hurt by the storm.
It's really just jarring to see the impact and what's happened.
At the current rate, they estimate they'll have to remove 1,600 to 1,800 of the damaged trees if they haven't been already. That work is going to take months, and that means this summer, people will have to navigate around the crews.
For our team's safety and yours, give them space. You know, each interruption means they have to stop work, and that slows down the process. So the more you just recognize it's an active work zone and to let them do their work, the faster we'll be able to recover.
The visitor center had some roof and exterior damage, just like other attractions in the park, including the Jewel Box and the Muni.
We're all really happy that all the institutions are going to, be able to continue on and open right away. So it'll still be a great, fun summer in Forest Park.
One of the areas with the most damage here at the Muni is in the pre-show space, where guests are going to notice there's not going to be as much shade because the storm brought down 100-year-old trees just like this one, and it happened all over the park.
We have some fence repair, we have some pre-show stage repair. From our standpoint, we feel that the season will be normal for our patrons.
Muni Director of Operations Sean Smith says their in-house crews are also fixing some damage to the stage.
A lot of our high-end stage equipment was already in place, so we've been looking through that. We've had some damage to some of the soft goods, the fabrics that form the back wall.
But the shows will still go on as planned.
It is a nice break away from your day-to-day, and we hope it continues to be. I will say that for anyone, we have tickets at all price ranges, including our 1,500 free seats, and hope that people have an opportunity to take advantage of one of the great shows we have coming this summer.
Reporting in St. Louis, Laura Barczewski, 5 on your side.
And the Muni opens the season on June 16th with Bring It On the Musical. And again, as you navigate the park, be mindful of downed trees and working crews.
Now to the weather impact forecast, and we are expecting a warm weekend.
However, meteorologist Scott Connell is tracking some rain we're going to have to get through first, right, Scott?
I think we're going to have to deal with some rain tomorrow afternoon, tomorrow evening, but not tomorrow morning. So if you have an early morning flight out of Lambert, you're looking pretty good tomorrow morning. But noon until 8 o'clock, that's our time frame on this. It's Thursday's showers and mainly light rain, although there could be a few downpours. Don't think there's much of a chance we'll hear too much thunder. The better chances for that are much farther south of St. Louis. But if you did hear thunder tomorrow, it wouldn't be severe thunderstorms. It would just be rain. So take along the umbrella. You may need a little extra time during the afternoon and evening just for commute purposes if we, in fact, get the wet roads. You see this system. The energy's out to our west. It's sliding eastbound. We're in the upper 60s right now. It fights the dry air. And so as we head into the commute time tomorrow morning, very limited opportunities for rainfall here until late in the morning. And we're close to 60 degrees out the door as far as rainfall amounts. Heaviest likely to be to the south of St. Louis. And we're talking maybe a ½ an inch to 3/4 of an inch, but in the metro, less than that. Nonetheless, you need those tarps. If you've got them up on your roof, tighten them down tonight.
Well, the Humane Society of Missouri is stepping up to help pets impacted by the tornado. The shelter says their teams rescued more than 20 strays from storm damage areas. Volunteers have also taken in animals from owners who can't house their pets. Altogether, the shelter says they're caring for 56 pets.
New tonight, the Red Cross is moving one of its shelters out of the city. The organization says it transferred people impacted by the tornado from the 12th and Park Recreation Center to its new shelter at the Ferguson Church of the Nazarene. That's on Elizabeth Avenue. That's near McClure High School. The rec center will now return to its normal operations and programs.
Today, leaders at Centennial Christian Church unveiled their plans to rebuild after the May 16th tornado destroyed parts of it. Patricia Ann Pendleton, who volunteered at the church, died when the roof collapsed during the storm. Organizers say the new church campus will provide affordable housing, a community health clinic, and more for the area. National organizations have already committed tens of thousands of dollars to help with the project.
We're together because we choose to be, and when one part of the body is in need, we go to where that need is. When one part of the body rejoices, we all rejoice.
Equitable access. The Centennial Community Relief Fund's GoFundMe has raised over $20,000, with all donations going directly towards the rebuild.
Tonight, we're learning how 3 Fairview Heights police officers are recovering after being shot on the line of duty. The officers responded to a call of a suspicious person at a home on Potomac Drive. That's when police say the suspect shot officers Molly Munich in the face, Tony Ramundi in the arm, and Andrew Ward in the back. Fairview Heights mayor tells us Ramundi was released from the hospital and Ward's bulletproof vest protected him. He also says Munich is now showing strong signs of recovery after surgery.
With the continued prayers and thoughts from the community, we're hopeful that she will see a positive recovery. It will take some time. It's going to be a long recovery, but she's a strong-willed individual, and that's what we love about Molly and all of our officers. They're so committed to what they do for the community.
Donations for the officers' recovery can be made to the Fairview Heights Police Department or the Tyler Timmons Memorial Foundation or Backstoppers.
We have new information on what caused a fire at a historic St. Louis building. Firefighters responded to a fire at the Lyle Mansion in Corunlet Park last night. The fire caused the house's roof to collapse on 2 firefighters. We're told both are okay. The city's fire chief says they believe the fire started outside in the back by people who were homeless.
It's an issue in the city. We know we have one, and some of them, whether it's vandalism or the unhoused, they seek areas of refuge, and this is what happens.
Crews were able to contain the fire before the mansion became a total loss.
Tonight, Planned Parenthood is deciding its next steps after a court decision halted abortions in Missouri. Yesterday, the state Supreme Court said a Kansas City judge applied the wrong standard when issuing injunctions that allow abortions to resume. Nearly all abortions were banned in Missouri after Roe v. Wade was overturned 3 years ago. But in November, voters approved Amendment 3, enshrining abortion rights in the state constitution. Since then, there's been a legal battle between Planned Parenthood and Missouri's Attorney General.
The Amendment 3 campaign showed that the vast majority of Missourians want access to abortion care, and so we intend to fight where we can to make sure that that's implemented.
Planned Parenthood says patients are now being sent to its Fairview Heights facility. Missouri Attorney General Andrew Bailey says the Supreme Court decision is, quote, a win for women and children.
Recent issues at the City Justice Center.
46 people in custody have died.
Unveiling a history of problems.
These are the same things happening over and over again.
We take a look behind the bars at what needs to change in the city's jail.
A warm change is coming to St. Louis, but we have to hold on for the weekend. The cool, damp weather, it spreads in on Thursday, where the heaviest rain will fall.
For years, 5 on Your Side has covered problems brewing inside the St. Louis City Jail. Beyond the current headlines, these issues have been festering for decades, long before the City Justice Center was even built.
In partnership with the Marshall Project, our Justina Coronel shows us how the past has lingered into current day issues.
It's a picture of the past. In 1915, the primary city jail opened just southwest of City Hall. Eventually, in the 1960s, it became a place of riots, overcrowding, escapees, and disturbances.
People knew about it because people would scream from the windows as people were walking to the Opera House or walking to City Hall.
The jail came down in the late 60s and a new one opened.
The inmates will be well taken care of.
The medium security institution known as the Workhouse.
We came up with this book, and it says, what can we do about the city jail? You know, and this was printed in 1973. Their lead sentence here is, the city jail is St. Louis's most prominent example of community indifference to the decay of our correctional system.
In the St. Louis Library, articles and books show the headlines then eerily look familiar.
These are the same things happening over and over again.
The Workhouse became a problematic place too, getting torn down this year. In this Marshall Project article, the focus is on the City Justice Center, built in 2002.
Since it opened in 2002, 46 people in custody have died.
As reporter Jesse Bogan puts it, the CJC was supposed to make things better. Despite different buildings, the images stay the same. And back-to-back leaders repeat a resembling message.
They want to put all the responsibility on me, but we have to look at things in its totality and say, how long has it been going on?
There have not been repairs to both MSI and the Justice Center for many years.
We believe we're doing a good job here, but of course we're going to look at all of it.
We have been hard at work changing the culture and the conditions of the City Justice Center, which predate my administration.
At the helm, there have been multiple commissioners rotating in.
Several people have gone into this job to lead it with a lot of support behind them, with a lot of good ideas, and then sometimes pretty quickly they ran out of steam.
Bogan spoke to every permanent commissioner since 1998.
Gene Stubblefield said, jails are a city problem, It's not a corrections problem. One of them said it, it was the worst decision I ever made. More recent leaders said the job had become increasingly politicized, more about getting votes than concentrating on fixing core problems.
These are the issues at hand.
We talked about unaddressed mental health challenges among detainees. They talked about inadequate and inexperienced staffing, budgetary concerns, infrastructure woes, and lack of involvement from the broader community.
Community leaders like advocate Michelle Smith and St. Louis Alderman Rasheen Aldridge want improvements.
Those things with the confinement, the deaths, also the medical situations, the medical neglect.
I don't think that we take the jail serious until there is something bad that's happened, either a riot or someone has died at the jail. We're not investing in the jail, and we're not investing in these individuals, and these individuals are not guilty. They're waiting trial, and some of them are sitting months and months at a time.
When it comes to investment, a new interim commissioner was hired, Doug Burris. Under his leadership, time will tell what happens next.
I sense that they want to see this succeed. I think they recognize that it's a very complex issue.
Justina Cornell, 5 on your side.
And so far, the new commissioner has implemented several new programs to reduce recidivism. The goal is to also hire a recruitment firm to address staffing shortages. You can read the full story in partnership with the Marshall Project on KSDK.com under the As Seen on TV section.
Let's check in again with Chief Meteorologist Scott Connell with the weather impact forecast, warmer weather, and also
rain tomorrow.
Let's just focus on the future.
Okay.
We'll get the good here and just look at this weekend. Saturday, Sunday, into Monday. Temperatures soaring back into the 80s. I was kind of blocking out Tuesday there. It's only in the low 70s tomorrow, and that's before it starts raining. So that's around lunchtime. Then we're dropping back into the 60s tomorrow afternoon. So it'll be less than pleasant during the afternoon hours. You see the stronger thunderstorms tonight into north central, northwestern portions of Oklahoma, south central portions of Kansas. This is the area that's headed our way. Now it's moving into dry air. So what's in Kansas City now, that's going to fade before it gets here tomorrow morning. But the energy is still farther to the west, and so that still has to get through here tomorrow afternoon into tomorrow evening. From noon until 8 o'clock tomorrow, showers, if not a general area of lighter rain, should spread across much of the area. That means the roads likely become damp, if not wet, for the evening rush hour, and you'll need your umbrella, a little extra time getting out the door and getting about tomorrow. But there's not a huge amount of wind with this rain that's coming our way. However, it's enough that if your roof is tarped, you want to make sure those tarps are secure over the next few days, especially when this rain starts moving in around and just after lunchtime in St. Louis. Then taking us through the afternoon into the evening hours. There may be a few rumbles of thunder, mostly well south of St. Louis. If there's thunder, it's not associated with severe weather. Just random rumbles of thunder tomorrow and maybe a little bit of a downpour. That's where you see some of those higher rain totals to the south. Maybe a few places getting closer to 1/2 to 3/4 of an inch. But the metro's probably less than that, around 1/4 of an inch, give or take some. And again, the best chances really ramp up once we head past lunch hour tomorrow and in through tomorrow evening. We're down to 66 right now, partly cloudy sky in St. Louis, light wind out of the north. We did get a trace of rain earlier this morning. Some of the areas around St. Louis had measurable rain, but not at the airport. And that was mostly before daybreak. 50s tonight for lows. Tomorrow, only 72 for the high. That's before that rain rolls in. Once it does, it drops back into the 60s, making tomorrow afternoon less than delightful. But it improves over the weekend. We've been able to lower the rain chances on Saturday. That little disturbance for Saturday afternoon looks like it stays far enough west so that the rain chances go down here. And we've bumped up Sunday's temperature a couple of degrees to 86 and close to 90 Monday and Tuesday. That'll be the warmest we've seen, the longest stretch of really warm weather we've had. But it doesn't come with the humidity. Having said that, our bodies really aren't used to
Right.
weather
So
just
chilly.
yet.
Yeah. All right. Scott, thanks. Frank is here with sports.
Mike, the Cardinals refused to lose. Washington University tennis felt the same way. And we are going to show you a coach who would like to end a career in style.
Make sure to head over to 5 Plus at 10:30 for another episode of Rennie on the Block. 5 Minute Side's Rennie Knott shows us some hidden gems along Cherokee Street. You can download the free 5 Plus app by searching KSDK in the App Store on your Roku, Samsung, Apple, or Fire TV.
It's 8 games over 500 for the first time this season. It's 18 wins in their last 23 contests. It's 8 1-1 in their last 10 series. As Frankie Lane once sang, they are rolling, rolling, rolling. Let's head to Baltimore. It's Matt Holliday's baseball world. We are just living in it. That's son Ethan, who will be the top pick in the draft. This is son Jackson, who was the first pick 3 years ago. That RBI double made it 3-0 Orioles. Jackson had 3 hits tonight. Mason Wynn is exploding. 4 more hits tonight, including that double which shaved the lead to 4-3. And Brendan Donovan with another big night. This 2-run blast in the 5th was the difference, and the Cardinals roll 6-4. Western Conference Final in Oklahoma City. Here's the MVP, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, 3 of his 34 points. The NBA offices may not like it, but Oklahoma City is going to the NBA Finals. Chet Holmgren with a 3. Thunder destroy the Timberwolves 124-94 and win the series 4-1. Eastern Conference Final in Carolina, the pride of Chaminade. Matthew Tkachuk will do exactly what his dad used to do, park in front of the net for that deflection goal. Carter Verhaeghe, the game winner in the 3rd. Panthers win 5-3, and they are headed to the Stanley Cup Final.
Wash U, your 2025 national champions.
The trophy arrived on campus today. The Wash U women went to California as the number 10 seed, knocked off number 1, number 9, and number 4 in the country to capture their first ever national title. And they return the entire team next season.
This is a moment that this team will always get to have as memories, to know we won that national title. We may have been the only people that believed in ourselves going into it, but we get to come back next year. We'll get to celebrate more when we're reunited in the fall, and then we'll get to hopefully make another great run next spring.
They will celebrate the 61-year life of Brian McKenna on Saturday from 2 to 7 on Macklin between Devonshire and Nottingham. The former athlete and sportscaster spent a good chunk of his life just helping others, and he actually planned for this to be a fun day.
And he wanted a party with all his friends and family so they would have, a good time upon his death and not be sad. He didn't want anybody to be sad. Everything was about everybody else's happiness, and Brian's feelings always came behind everyone else.
We've hit the stretch run of the high school baseball season. It's the Elite 8. It will be DeSmet versus Fort Zumwalt West. And the Jaguars are loaded with talent and 31-8 on the season. They also have a coach wrapping up a career and looking for his first state title.
Hey, let's go. Let's go. Let it hop. Let's get better today. Let's go.
For the last quarter of a century, this is what 50-year-old Eric Goff has done. Coach baseball. And this is his last season.
When I leave here, they're going to play baseball here.
But Goff has a chance to go out in style. His Fort Zumwalt West squad is in the quarterfinals.
I had a vision of getting off the bus about 2 or 3 a.m. coming back from Ozark with the state title in my hand. And it was such an amazing feeling of accomplishment, but also a little bit of sadness and sorrow because the ride is over.
Players like star shortstop and Mizzou commit Nolan Sisson would like to send the coach out with a blaze of glory.
It'd be amazing, all the hard work we've put in this year with him has been a journey, and he talks about it all the time. The journey to the top of the mountain is more fun than getting to the top of the mountain, so it would be really cool to do that with him in his last year.
And make no mistakes, win or lose, Eric Goff knows it's time to exit the sport he loves.
What I refuse to do is to stick around and slowly fade away. And I have noticed that my passion day to day is still there, but my desire for the grind, it's just a little tougher to get going as I've gotten older.
He's really a classy coach. We did a story a couple of years ago on how he had players after every game deliver a handwritten thank you note to the umpires.
Wow, that's
I
nice.
really cool.
that.
One other thing about the Cardinals, it seems Jordan Walker is figuring things out.
You're right.
He had another big hit tonight.
He did, and he drew a walk. So it's steady but slow improvement for him, and that is just great to see. Nobody works harder than Jordan Walker.
All right, thanks, Frank.
Well, coming up, a foul delay. The feathered stowaways keeping one flight grounded and passengers ducking for cover. Check this out. A Delta flight in Minneapolis got delayed after 2 wild pigeons. Yes, pigeons got on board. A passenger caught this video of another passenger trying to catch one of the birds. Delta says the flight was delayed only an hour, and they appreciate the help from passengers and crew to safely remove the birds.
All right, we're expecting a little rain, and Scott has a final check of the weather impact.
It won't be here for the morning rush hour in St. Louis, but lunchtime into tomorrow afternoon, that's when our rain chances ramp up. Low 70s just before the rain gets here. After lunch, when it starts raining, we drop into the 60s, and we'll stay there for the rest of the afternoon. Weekend looks much warmer, and we'll stay that way going into next week. It's finally going to feel a little more like summer around here.
Yeah, getting into the 90s by middle of next
Yeah,
week.
we think so.
There you have it. 5 on your side at 10. We're always streaming on 5+.
Start your day with Today in St. Louis. That starts at 4 a.m. Have a great tomorrow.